Let's get started. You know the motif. Face got revealed. Game got real. In conclusion, to carry on from the previous class where I was discussing age and whether or not to be grateful and the good and the bad of aging. So to stay in that vein of aging for this brick wall session, I'm going to talk about some of the things that keep me up at night, because sleep is something that I lose as I get older. As I get older, going to sleep has become a task, a chore. How do I get to sleep? What do I take? Valerian root, drink some tea, an edible, a sleeping pill, Benadryl. Like, what do you take to go to sleep? And sleep is so important to me. As a Taurus, as a man trying to stay healthy, try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. Sleep is essential, because what happens with me is if I don't get sleep by a certain time, like if I don't go to sleep by a certain time, I'm just up. My body's like, we're not sleeping. Good. We just up. It's been times I've been up for like 36 hours, 48 hours. Can't get sleep. I'll tell people how important sleep is to me, and they be like, I hear you. We're going to get it. I don't get it. After 2 days of no sleep, you get sick, your immune system shuts down, your body starts to crumble, mania sets in, sleep depression comes about. Like, sleep is important, and we can't get it because you tethered to your device, you're on your cell phone, you're on TikTok, you doom scrolling, gossiping. You just can't shut your brain off. Something's happened to where your brain can't shut off. I'm a victim of it. I love sleep. Then it's like you learn that you've been sleeping wrong. You got to sleep on certain sides. The room has to be a certain temperature for you to get adequate sleep. The bed has to be a certain firmness. People don't have the money to get a firm bed. Not everybody has money to get a firm bed. And there are people in this world that would say, how can someone not have enough money to get a firm bed? Ask them. They'll tell you. But it's so much goes into going to sleep. Then as you get older, you're like, I got this to worry about. You got that to worry about. Worry won't even let you sleep. Worry's like, yo, that dude over there trying to sleep, let's go rest the block. You can't sleep. Things keep you up. Things keep you up at night because you're like, am I on the wrong side of that? Am I the bad guy for thinking about this? Here's something that keeps me up at night. As a comedian, what I've learned is in this class, also, it's a class because I want to be a professor and ethnographer and a therapist. So I'm treating this like a class, and we're going to go through this thing where I'm talking about my age and why I don't like it and the good and the bad and the things that come along with it. And not getting sleep is one of those things that come along with it. And one of the things that keep me up at night, or used to, not so much anymore, more than anything, the integrity of the profession I am a part of. For the longest time, I used to have an issue with joke stealing. I mean, I still do. It's not like it went away. It's not as rampant as it once was because everybody has a phone now. Everybody posts their jokes now. No one's doing jokes anymore. You can't steal crowd work. Can you? Can you steal tushing? Tushing is when you're talking until something happens. That's tush. Talk until something happens. Does anybody have a comedy tour called Tush? The Tush Tour. Talk until something happy happens or something like that. I don't know. But it's hard to steal crowd work. And that's what everybody's doing now. So it's kind of like you can either have your joke stolen or you can deal with crowd work. Your poison. But if I can, breaking down the issue, as a comedian, we're not allowed to talk about it because it's like wizards stealing spells from one another, because a joke is a spell. A joke is you put together some words and it gets you laughter. That's the goal. Say something funny, laugh. That's the payoff. Do something funny, laugh. The payoff. Impression, payoff. Smash your head against the wall, payoff. Run out, fully clothed at the beginning of your show. By the end of your show, you just got your pants on. And then people are like, this is amazing. How is he not dressed anymore? We missed it, right? Like there's a gimmick for everything now. But there was a time where joke stealing was just rampant. And we knew about it. Like we knew the comics that were stealing jokes. We can't discuss it though, which doesn't make sense. I feel comfortable. Let me tell you why I feel comfortable talking about joke stealing and why I have an issue with it. Because if you ever seen me perform and I did a joke that somebody else did, please tell me. I will stop immediately because so help me, I would be sick to my stomach if somebody said, yo, you got material like this person. Floored. Nauseous. Morning sickness. Vomiting in my mouth. My nose would just start bleeding. Blood would come out of my eyes because my head would not be able to retain the information someone is sharing with me. I had a booker come to me one day and tell me that he didn't book me for the show he was booking because I sounded like another black comic from the South. Now, I didn't sound like that comic, but it was that monolith thing of I already got a slow talking black comic. I don't need another one, right? He could have just said that. I'd be like, bet. You got a quota for slow talkers. But to say I sound like another comic, I was so insulted. Like that's an insult to me. To think to say you stole somebody's joke is an insult to me. Let's break down joke stealing from the standpoint of you're a comic, student in the classroom, you're a comic. You're trying to write a joke to get you food. You're trying to write a joke to get you into the NBA of comedy, where you get drafted by a network or a comedy club or a manager or agent, and they make you a plant and they push you through the system, right? You're working to create a joke that says, I will do whatever you need me to do to be, as long as I can be successful. What do I have to do, right? So if you write a joke that's like, yo, this joke is going to get you everything you ever wanted. You go do the joke, and then there's a comic in the club, sees you do the joke, and realizes that joke is good, and they take the joke from you. Rebrand it a little bit, change the bells, the whistles on it. Instead of going out, they're going in. Instead of up, it's going down. Instead of blue, it's gray. Whatever. It's that whole Vanilla Ice. Dun, 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 dun. Whatever. You go perform this joke. Crowd loves you. They're like, oh my God, that's a great joke. Somebody else sees the joke. They go do the joke. They do their version of it. They do it better than you. Or the comic that does it is bigger than you. So by default, the audience thinks that the bigger comic must have written a joke because that's the bigger comic. That's the natural maturation of it. Like there's no reason why this unknown comic would be funnier or as funny as this well-known comic. That's the wisdom or the discernment that we choose to use in that scenario. Okay, so that happens to you. Someone takes your joke. How do you live? How do you live with that? You angry? You mad? Then comics will say stuff like, I'll just write another joke. No, I don't like that plan. I don't like that plan of I sat down, I came up with an idea, I perfected it, all for someone to snatch it up and fly off with it. And let's point out how there has to be a medical term for it. Sociopath? Crazy. You gotta be crazy. It's like, you ever seen that movie Hero with Dustin Hoffman and Andy Garcia? It's a plane crash. Dustin Hoffman saves all these people, but he doesn't want credit for it. And then Andy Garcia shows up and says, I'm the guy who did it. And he starts like getting taken around town, and he's the belle of the ball. And then, Dustin Hoffman's like looking on TV, and he's like, yo, he didn't do the things he did. They get into it. Turns out Andy Garcia is a better hero for what he was doing than Dustin Hoffman was. that's kind of like what that is. You know what I mean? They let the person that looks better telling your joke tell your joke. I know people who have written jokes. Someone stole a joke, and then the person that stole the joke basically was like, my bad for stealing your joke. Let me do something for you. Right? Money, produce a special for you, take you on tour with them, whatever it is. There's some people every now and then grow a conscience and pay you back that way. Some people don't. But it's weird that we can't even discuss it. What's even weirder is there's comics that hang out with comics that they know steal jokes. So now you got to look at the comic that hangs out with the comic that steals jokes and say, are you that type of person also? Because you can't say, oh, I don't steal jokes. I mean, he do it, but that's not what I do. How you not? How you not worried about your material? Now, I don't know if this is hypocrisy, and I'm just talking this out as a professor. I went on tour with a comic that was a well-known thief. Well-known. But I needed to work. And I was upset at myself for being in a position where I had to work with somebody that I knew stole jokes. I made sure that I performed in a way where if this person stole a joke from me, they would have to work. When I say work for it, they would have to read to steal it. And I knew they wasn't going to read it because that's why they were stealing jokes in the first place. But I have been on tour with people that I know who were well-known joke thieves. But because I needed to work, I was like, as long as he don't steal from me, I guess. And you hate even being in that situation. And that's where that dynamic of, man, I hate that I allowed this thing that I enjoy doing, this art, comedy. I also found myself depending on it to make a living. It's uncomfortable. Now it's together. Now you got a TV that's a DVD and a VCR. You know how you used to have the combo TVs where you have a TV and it'd be a DVD player, but if the DVD player broke, you just got a TV now. Like, it's that situation. I know people who have stolen jokes from people and have gone on to be more successful than that person. I know somebody who stole a joke from somebody. The person said, yo, I heard you did my joke. The person apologized for doing the joke and said they would never do it again, and then did it again and told the person the only reason they did it is because they thought that person was out of town. That's how the conversation was told to me in a room at a comedy club where we were discussing people stealing jokes. I was there the first time the person stole a joke. It was not there the second time the person stole a joke. The fact that you stole a joke the first time is enough for me. I won't perform in a room with a comedian that I know steals jokes. Like, if I know somebody's going to show up, or if I know somebody's in the back that knows how to lift, I'll just mumble my way through it. I'll just throw out some jokes I've done before that's been on TV already. You also have to look at the desperation of you have to also look at the psychology of what it means to steal a joke from another comedian. You saw somebody do something, you stole it. That's not art, that's desperation. Because you don't care about the crafting of your own original idea into something great and giving it to the people and saying, this is my offering, this is my truth, this is my honesty, this is my art, this is my way of thinking. I'm sharing this with you, plot out. It's not that. It's like, I'm trying to make it by any means necessary. And this guy here, the comedian, says, this person isn't going to use the joke the way I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it, and then they take it. Then the comedy community decides if they are going to punish this person. But if the person is successful, they let the person live until the person dies. Meaning, the person can continue to be a piece of shit as long as they're on top until they're not on top anymore. And then they treat him or her the way they should have treated them from the beginning. But you can't have that conversation. It's rude to have it. The murmurs come out of, why is that person talking about that? Who is this person to say who steals jokes and who don't? Like, I don't know how to say this in a way where it doesn't come off the way I'm sure it's going to sound, but like, I would have to be desperate. I would have to be lonely. I would have to be lost. I would have to think that I don't have it in me to steal a joke from somebody. Like, somebody has to be doing something that I think is better than what I'm doing for me to steal. There's no scenario where I would. There's no scenario. Yo, I know comics who have had jokes stolen from them, spoken up about it, and the comic that stole the joke from them made it where that comic couldn't work. The power of the game. As a comedian, I believe in talking about things that I know about. I think that saves you. That's a safe space to be in. Talk about something you know about. Talk about something you have experienced. Talk about something you have seen. Talk about something you have witnessed. Right? For example, blanket statement. I'm from the South. A hit dog will holler. Meaning, I'm not saying anything directly to anybody. But if someone feels like they got to speak up, it's because they think I'm talking about them. And when that's not a problem, that's not my problem. That's a you problem. And you need to talk to you about it. I was on tour with somebody and I was featuring. And one of the things that I used to do, and I still do when I go on the road, if I'm featuring or headlining, I'll hang out and talk to local comics if they have any questions. Or they like, yo, what's LA like? Oh, it's very expensive. Gross. So expensive. Some of the comedy clubs don't even pay you. Some of the comedy clubs have big name comics play the club that if the big name comic knew that the comedy club didn't pay the comics, the big name comic wouldn't play that comedy club, and that comedy club would lose a lot of money. I know comedy clubs that don't pay like that. I know comedy clubs that don't pay like that and will charge you a $30 fee for a copy of your performance, $40 for a copy of your performance in this day and age where you can just set your phone up and record yourself. It's a game inside the game inside the game. You do not want to know how the sausage is made. Right? I would hang out after the shows, tell the comics what's going on, the 411, what I knew. Only what I knew. No speculation, just what I knew. And they would be thankful. They were like, yo, appreciate it, whatever. Made friends. This particular city I went to, the comics will hang out after the show because the headliner was not hanging out. He was like, I'm not doing it. I did it. And there was a comic who came and watched every show we did. Watch me perform. About a year or two later, this comic moves to LA. The only comic I'm going to mention in this story is a good friend of mine who's no longer with me. And it gives me an opportunity to honor him. Fu Johnson, Fuquan, could hoop like no other. Cold jumper. Play like, who Fu play like, man? Gosh. Fu could hoop, man. Like hoop. Kawhi hoop. Hoop like Kawhi. Quiet but smooth. Cold jumper. Could dribble but funny. Had this raspy voice. Take dark humor. Had you dying laughing. I mean, his laugh was amazing. His laugh was amazing. Like you would die laughing at his laugh. But then you would laugh at how he tell a story, right? Fu comes to me one day in his voice, hey yo, there's this cat. He talking just like you, your whole cadence, the whole. Now I'm like, yo, you know Moranzio Vance? And the guy says no. The guy says no, despite the fact that this guy hung out after every show in the city that I was in where I was featuring for this comedian. Why would you say you don't know me? Why are you doing what you're doing? The person mimicked me so much that I had won this showcase with a network. That same comic won the showcase with that network. It was bizarre. And then couldn't look me in the face. Could not look me in the face anytime they saw me. So it's stuff like that. Then there's other situations where other comics have stolen or pilfered or whatever. But it doesn't happen too often because I try not to tell jokes or tell stories that can be lifted. Also, you got to be a sociopath to take somebody's story that they live, the life they live, and then put yourself in it. When I first moved to LA in 2001, 2002, I was playing this comedy club called Mixed Nuts. It was a black-owned comedy club on Washington Boulevard. It's no longer there. It was huge as shit. It's like a warehouse with a comedy club inside of it. It was just big. I think this African guy owned it. They served food, or Jamaican, whatever. But they served food in there, like buffet style. And a comedy club. The stage was big as shit. The stage was big enough to have 2 comedy clubs on the stage. I sat in the back one night watching a comic go on stage. This guy told Martin Lawrence joke about the road trip with putting the ice on the neck. And I watched this guy tell the joke. He told it with confidence. But he also told it like, y'all don't know this joke? Like, he almost telling it like, I'm waiting on somebody to call me out, but no one ever called him out. People laugh. And as I'm watching the audience, I'm like, y'all don't know comedy. And you don't care where the laugh comes from. You don't care how you get the laugh. You just want the laugh. You just want the fix. What are you going to do with that information? How do you fight that? How do you deal with that? How do you say, oh, man, I can't get... I mean, you can be mad at the comic, but the audience doesn't care about where it comes from. So if the audience doesn't care about where it comes from, should you still care? But then there's also that situation again of why put forth effort to do something when people don't care what you do as long as you get to the bottom line, which is the laugh. Still in jokes, still in cadence, still in personas and personalities. There are people out there that are dressing up as somebody else that's already famous and being that person, but the exaggerated version of that person. Like, that's like who's famous right now that if I tried to impersonate them? Spike Lee. Let's say I go around dressed like Spike Lee. Bucket hat, glasses, beard, big clothes, all New York Knicks, whatever, pigeon toe, but I'm just loud and I'm telling jokes in Spike Lee's voice and cadence, how he would tell jokes. And people are like, yo, this is crazy. This dude does a great Spike Lee impression. I'm going to go see him tell jokes as Spike Lee. What is that doing for me? How am I building my brand by building somebody else's brand that already has a brand? It's like I'm helping Spike Lee franchise. Like there's a Spike Lee's all over. We got a Spike Lee in Houston. There's a Spike Lee in Philly. There's a Spike Lee in Chicago. There's a Spike Lee in San Francisco. There's a Spike Lee in New Orleans. Like the Spike Lee's all over the place. And then I'm like, why do I care? But I stay up at night because I'm a purist. And when I say purist, meaning the old school thinking of, I got an idea, I'm going to shape it, mold it, I'm going to go test it out on stage, refine it to where there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. Come back later to it. It's the punchline at the end of the special or the set. Like whatever it is, there's levels to it. What's wrong with that? What happened? What happened to that? Is that too much? Is it a basketball game now? Remember, basketball games was just basketball, and then they was like, "Yo, people need another reason to come to the game," and they gave women wigs, pom poms, to shake around and dress half naked. That wasn't enough. Now we giving out popcorn and candy, sodas, Now we giving out T-shirts. Now we got games at halftime. Now we got games in between TV timeout because the basketball game isn't enough. Is the joke? Is it the art? Is the art of making a joke from scratch and coming up with something funny and original? Is that not enough anymore? Like original creativity is not enough anymore. I just want to know. I'm trying to understand. And there's people who are going to be mad because joke stealing is a thing. Like I said, it's not as much anymore, but it's also like, you know who steal jokes, and people still book people that steal jokes. Managers rep people they know their clients steal jokes. Networks put people on that they know steal jokes. It's kind of like when you see somebody on a lineup that steals a joke, or you see a club book a comic that steals a joke, you look at the club like, why don't you just book somebody who also got some sexual charges pending against them that they really didn't clear up, but y'all still booked them anyway because you assume people forgot about it? I'm trying to understand where the line of integrity is in comedy. Or are we becoming savages just like the government that we are up under that have said, you know what, let's just do away with rules and laws and let people figure it out, or they just do like we say and that'll be it, or we go with the stronger power or the stronger hand. Those are the things that keep me up at night because I like to write, I like to perform, but I also want to perform and write with the security of knowing that my joke is safe, my idea is safe, my thought is safe. It's hard when you do jokes when everybody watches the news and R. Kelly does something. Now you got 50 comics doing R. Kelly jokes. It happened. I take BET in 2003. Either it was R. Kelly had done something at the time or Kobe had done something at the time. But whoever it was, BET was like, yo, can y'all please hold off on these jokes because we have enough. Everybody was doing the same joke. You can't even everybody was trying to fight to see who had the best R. Kelly joke or the best Kobe joke or the best, whatever it was, everybody was going in the same direction. And no one thought to go left or right or down or up or just stand still. Everybody went the same direction. You can't do anything about that when people write from TV. You can't do anything when people write from the headlines. Like, there's a wave of people that just go look at the news every day and be like, I'm gonna talk about this, I'm gonna come up with a joke for that, and then boom, they run with it. Somebody bound to repeat something. Somebody bound to touch on the same topic. Everybody fought to have a good OJ joke. Everybody fought to have a good anybody who's ever done anything joke. Everybody, I'm waiting on some ass face to come up with it. They got a Kanye joke. Where is it? I know there's a demographic out there. There's a group of people that just can't wait to do a joke about Kanye. Everybody's fighting to try to do it. Do it. Let's see it. Come on. Let's go. Waste your time. Do something topical. Let's go. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you doing? So as a teacher, as a professor, I wonder what the issue is with us having an issue with discussing things like this. The question to society is, to my profession, to these wizards, to these craftsmen, to these people, why are we okay with certain people stealing jokes and certain people not stealing jokes? Why are we okay with joke stealing, period? Why we allow it? Why is it acceptable? Why is it okay for one person to do it, not another person to do it? Why aren't we calling each other out for doing it? It's like watching somebody do your joke is like watching somebody smash your chick after you just left the room, but now there's a crowd for it now. When you were smashing her, nobody was in the room. You walk out of the room, come back in, some other comic is like smashing your girl in front of everybody. Everybody's like, yo, he is smashing her beyond belief. That's crazy. You are an incredible smasher. And then you come in and be like, no, but I was smashing her earlier. And the crowd's like, there's no way in the world you smash a chick like this. She's good. She's sexy. She's smart. You. And you got to sit there and be like, damn. And then you got to let people say stuff to you like, don't worry about it, man. Just get you a new chick. But I really like that chick. I know, but he's smashing her now. What you going to do? That's the world we live in. That's the playground we're in. And it's desperation. You can call it what you want. You can put all the lipstick on this pig you want. If you steal jokes, you're crazy. You're desperate. You're crazy. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs if you have done a joke that belonged to somebody else. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you have done. I don't care what sitcom you have. I don't care if it's syndicated in 600 countries. I don't care. If you saw somebody doing a joke and it was a good joke and you took it and you made money off of it, you're a piece of shit. Well, what? Are you not? Are you not? How are you not a piece of shit? I'm listening. Okay. So with that being said, your homework class, if you choose to accept it, ask yourself, do you care where it comes from? Do you care where the origin of whatever it is you're getting comes from? Does it matter that it was stolen? Does it matter that it was something else before it was Transformers? Like, does it matter? Does it bother you? Are you okay with the fact that someone did someone else's material that kept that person from not being able to work or whatever, a writer's job, something? Like, that's what's happening. Someone is stealing someone's currency from them and using it for themselves. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. And let me tell you something. Once again, as your professor, as you as class, students, or whatever, this is just me talking out loud, questioning, asking questions that should be asked. Don't approach me. Don't ask me. We can have a conversation about it, but don't approach me like you got an attitude. Because if you approach me with an attitude, that means you have stolen a joke before. And then you got some soul searching to do. But don't approach me because I bite. It's the rule. I bite. You walk up on me, you put your hands on me, I'm gonna get a pound of flesh and some brown and syrup rolls. I'm gonna go home and make some sliders. Do not approach me. That's the class. Once again, I'm gonna put link in the bio for the video. Put on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. There'll be a link if you want to support or whatever. I got a show coming out. I got a show I'm doing Thursday at the Comedy Magic Club, 8 o'clock. Go get tickets. My birthday is Tuesday. I don't know how these are going to come out. I just know that I'm releasing them, and it'll just be what it's going to be. We'll figure it out as we go. But like I feel good about what is happening because I want to be a professor one day. I told you I'm going back to school. I'm going to be a professor. This is it. It's class. Okay. Class dismissed.